Hi everybody. Hi, this is Lorraine Tierney with Chat and Craft with Lorraine, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Massachusetts at my daughter's house. I'm living with her to help out right now. I generally live in Warner, New Hampshire, which is just about an hour north of here, but I'm doing this from her house today. So it's not, the lighting is not always as ideal, but we're going to make do with it. I wanted to show you how to make this twisted ribbon card today. And this was my first attempt at it. And here's a disclaimer. The top isn't quite right. So you're going to see today how to fix that. But I thought I'd show it to you because even if your first one comes out like this, I think it's still a really pretty card. Okay, it's kind of a gatefold. It opens like that. I put all of the dimensions up in the description of this video. So if you want to come back to this at a later date and make the card, you can do that. Hi Jackie, nice to see you. So the first thing we're going to do is just put the card base together and then set that aside. So it's not quite your average card base. I cut it 5.5 by 8.5, and then I cut 2 inches off this side. So it's 5.5 by 6.5. Hi Courtney. And then scored at 4 1/4. So you have that little piece. On the inside, I'm going to put a cardstock mat. This is just your regular size. Oh, I forgot to say that today we are going to use the cup of tea bundle to make this card. My cup of tea bundle hasn't quite seen enough ink. I'm going to make sure I have the right piece. And then we have a small piece of white that's going to hide under the top flap. So I'm going to put that in. And then I can get these pieces out of the way while we do the twisted ribbon part. When I had some people filling in for me on my Tuesday evening Zoom class, they made this card, and a couple of people asked for a video to see how it was done, and I'm just getting to that now. So here it is. And I'm going to put another piece of cardstock over here. This is cardstock number 2 in the directions. So it's like a cardstock mat. I'm not standing up, and I think that's going to get me into a little bit of trouble. That's pretty good. And then this is a piece of paper from the Tea Boutique papers. I stuck pretty much with that suite today, or I think I did completely. There we go. So this is our card base. This piece is going to have the twisted ribbon part on it, but obviously it's not ready to be put down yet. So the first thing we're going to talk about are these strips that I will use to make the twisted ribbon. I have 6 of 2 different patterns, and they're a 1/2 inch wide, and these are, I forget, 2.5. Let me see. These are 2.5. You have to make sure they're wide enough to span your little piece of paper at an angle. Okay, and whatever width you have here, that's the width you're going to make these pencil marks on your piece of cardstock with. So I've seen some people do it with 3/4 inch, and then they make their marks 3/4 of an inch apart. And I've seen some do it with 1/2 inch. I like the 1/2 inch. I got something on my piece of paper. We're just going to hope it gets covered up. Okay, so I'm going to use my grid paper. There is an inch, a US side and a metric side, an imperial and a metric side to your grid paper. Make sure you're on the imperial or the US side if you're going to use it this way. Every space here is a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to line this up so that I'm nice and straight across the top and down my left hand side, and I'm going to mark it every 2 grid lines because that's a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, so you can see my little, can you see them? Yes, you can see my little, just my little dots, and I can always erase those. I'm going to work on this silicone mat because this is going to get messy with lots of glue. Now I can tell you what I did wrong on this first one. This is what not to do. I put my, you start on the left and we're going to go diagonal. I started at the left top and came down. And then you'll see when you do the next one over here, you're left with some white at the top. What you want to do is start at the left at that first mark and go up to the top right hand corner. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do first. And this piece is not going to need a ton of glue because a lot of it hangs off. Okay, so I just put a little bit of glue. I'm not going to worry about my lemons if they're right side up or upside down or which way they're going. And actually, I got ahead of myself. I want the lemons to be on top. And I'm going to start whatever paper you do first looks like it's in the background more than the other one. So let's try again. So if you ever think you make a lot of mistakes when you're making a card, just think about Lorraine and you'll know, it's okay. We all make mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to just keep going like this. Now I'm going to come down to the next mark and I'm going to go in between it. So I'm not skipping any marks. Okay. These are going to be parallel and spaced about 1/2 inch apart. And hopefully this will come out the way I want it this time. But if it doesn't, we're going to have another variation. And we might like that too. I love this little lemon paper in the Tea Boutique. It's so different than all of the other patterns. And it's still warm and summery, so I can still pretend it's time for iced tea. Okay, and now on this one, I'm going to do the same tricky thing. I'm going to pay most attention to this dot on the right hand side. I might have gotten my rights and lefts mixed up earlier. I don't know. That's also par for the course. And come right off the edge. Okay. Now these are a little gunky and messy, but I do need to see the top of my paper a little bit better. So I'm going to cut this off, even though it's going to make my scissors messy. I'm just going to cut the top one for now, and I can cut the others later. Okay. So now we're going to go exactly the opposite way. I'm going to come to this edge like this up to the top, and now you see I have covered the top edge rather than leaving it open here. Okay, and then this one will go to the next one. I think it will make sense once you do it, once you see it. Okay. So the bottom of my piece is going to go at the corner. You just have to remember that the first one really goes right off your paper. Okay, and now this one, now I'm going to line up with the bottom edge there and the top edge right there. Is that going to look right? I hope so. We shall see. I didn't have time to do too many of these to practice. Okay, I didn't have time to make another. I only made one so far. So this is still kind of in the guinea pig stage, but it's paper and it's still going to bring a happy message to somebody and make somebody smile, even if it's not exactly the way I think it should look. And I keep going down. So on the right hand side, I'm at the bottom of the strip, and on the, no, that's my left. On my left hand side, I'm at the bottom, and on the right hand side, I'm at the top. Today seems to be a particularly bad right and left day. I apologize. Okay, and now I need to clean up this corner down here just a little bit better so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. My silicone mat is particularly messy. Okay, and I want to come right to the corner there. The last one is a little bit tricky to get on because you really can't see what you're doing. Okay, and I'll start trimming at this end and hope that that dries. Okay. Is that the bottom end? Or is that's the top? Okay. So now I'm going to use my white cardstock as a guide and trim all the way around. And I'll have to carefully clean my scissors with some Goo Gone when I'm done to get all this stickiness off. Some people have dedicated sticky scissors. I don't know, do any of you guys do that? I don't quite keep track of things well enough. Let's go up this way. I'm giving that other little piece just as long as I can to dry on there. I guess I could have done this first and then put my card together, but that's all right. Get those out of the way. And now here's the last little piece. Okay, so you can see, let's go this way. You can see the difference between those two, where you have white in the middle at the top or you have it covered at the top. So it's probably personal preference. But I think the samples that I saw had the top of it covered. So now I'm going to put this on here. I want to make sure, okay, I have a green edge. Got a little blue there. There we go. That's really pretty. I like that. And then I thought I would put a teacup over here. And I made a little lemon slice. These dies all come in the cup of tea bundle, and I put a little slit in it so I can hang it off the cup. And I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the back here. try to hold that on my cup. And I can put a little dab under there. Just give that a second to stick. So there's that. I may not put this on just yet because I think I probably should put some greens coming out of the cup, or put some leaves up here. It needs a little something else. And I wanted this to be a thank you. And I also wanted to see if I could use these to hold that closed just a little bit more, but I don't think I can with these two things. So I think I would put some green leaves. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I can stamp this one and then cut it out and have some leaves back here, a little green, and then put my thank you and my cup of tea on there. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I mostly wanted to show you how to do the twisted ribbon part of it. And I will have a blog post going up soon on Chat and Craft with Lorraine, and it will have this little video in there that will show you how to do this. Oh, Courtney, that's a great idea. She bought a pair of Teflon scissors for this kind of a card. I wonder if the glue doesn't stick to the Teflon, or if they're easier to clean. What's the advantage, Courtney, of having Teflon scissors? If she's still there, maybe she'll answer that question. So that's how you make this kind of a card. I also wonder, which one do you like better? Do you like it with a little, whoops, white at the top? Or do you like it better with it being closed at the top? I'm so glad the glue doesn't stick, Courtney says. Ramona, I'm so glad you like it and you'll want to make some of these. I'm thinking about doing a Christmas card or two like this also. It's so pretty. And it's a lot of fun, and you end up with a lot of half-inch strips of paper when you cut your DSP. Often you have a half-inch or an inch by 4 at the bottom, so you could use them to do something like this. So thanks very much for watching today. I would love it if you would like this video. If you would share it, that would be awesome. It would help other people see it and make cool cards. And if you have any needs for Stampin' Up! Supplies, I'd be happy to help you out with a catalog or in any other way. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. All right, bye-bye.